Hello, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner from Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. And after I took last week off, or most of last week off, there really wasn't a whole lot going on throughout the remainder of the week. And thankfully, there isn't a whole lot going on for much of this week either. Now, some areas have seen a lot of snowfall. Bismarck, I think they're about 7 inches away from the record back in 97. So while I don't think they're going to be setting the record this week, they might just inch a little closer as we go throughout the week, as we get a few more inches of snow here and there. And then we're also looking at below average temperatures. As it says behind me, still cold for this time of year, unfortunately. But I'll show you towards the end that there is some glimmer of hope towards the end of this rainbow. We're going to go through Sunday night into Monday morning with just a little bit of light snow across southern portions of North Dakota, northern parts of South Dakota. And that kind of pushes eastward right around the noon hour, kind of crosses over into Minnesota. And then as we go through the remainder afternoon, perhaps just a little bit of light snow lingering in some areas, but not much that's really going to accumulate. So this is just going to be some light snowfall that really just it won't do a whole heck of a lot. And then again, another little disturbance comes in Monday night and into parts of Tuesday morning. You can see perhaps this one's got a little more potency. This is right around 7 a.m. So perhaps just a little bit more snow falling across central parts of North Dakota by this point. And then as we go throughout the remainder of the morning, that kind of pushes eastward and into northwestern parts of Minnesota by about noon time frame. And then as we go throughout the remainder of the afternoon, that continues to push east. We got snow across probably the northern 2/3 of Minnesota and into eastern portions of North Dakota throughout the remainder of the day on Tuesday. This is getting kind of late in the day and more so into the evening hours. And then we also have this high pressure system settling in and pushing into our area, bringing in just a little bit cooler air once again. We're not going to warm up anytime fast, unfortunately. And then as we get into Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning, we see perhaps just a little band of snowfall develop across southern portions of South Dakota and Minnesota. Again, perhaps just dropping an inch, maybe two at the very most, but really not expecting much there at all. In fact, if we take a look at the potential snowfall all the way to Thursday morning, you can see where that main band of snow falls across North Dakota and into northwestern parts of Minnesota. Probably within that 1 to 3 mark. Now, mind you, this is actually that, a little bit from Monday, and then probably more so from that Tuesday morning snowfall that moves across. But it's a combination of the two. So I'd say generally we're talking 1 to 3 inch. But look at this, there might be just a band here, a thin, razor thin band somewhere across central parts of North Dakota. Now again, this could waffle north, this could waffle a little bit south, but perhaps just a little thin band of a 4, maybe 5 incher in there, here and there. But otherwise, generally, we're not looking like we're going to get a whole lot of snow over the next few days. Now, the other thing good with this is look at the wind gusts. We're not looking at a whole lot of windy conditions. Perhaps a little bit of breezy conditions across parts of Minnesota as we get Monday night and into early parts of Tuesday morning. And then again into Tuesday morning with some of that snow across North Dakota. Not bad. We're looking 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. So perhaps a little bit of gusty winds Tuesday morning, but otherwise not bad throughout much of the week. So we're not really looking at the blowing and drifting snow on top of this. We're just mainly looking at those snow-covered roads, probably again Tuesday morning across North Dakota. Now, as we take a look a little further out into the crystal ball, perhaps as we get to Thursday, we've got this low pressure system coming out of the Rockies. We've got a whole lot of moisture being drawn up. Now, it does look like at this point that we've got this warm front extending out, and that's really where the focus of much of the moisture is going to be in the way of thunderstorms, probably severe thunderstorms in some areas. But for our area, what that's probably going to mean is just some rain across southern portions of Minnesota and perhaps a band of snow kind of stretching from western portions of South Dakota and into northern parts of Minnesota. So that's probably what we're looking at for now. We're going to kind of have to keep an eye on that and see exactly how much moisture makes it up and how much snow actually falls on Thursday. But generally speaking, I don't think at this point we're looking at a whole lot. We might even see a few rumbles of thunder across southern portions of Minnesota if some of those storms make it that far north. At this point, I don't think it's going to be anything severe. I think that'll remain south of us at this point. But otherwise, we're just looking, like I said, at snow. And then perhaps more so as we get into Friday, particularly Friday afternoon and Friday night, that might be just a little better chance, at least, for southeastern parts of Minnesota to get some accumulating snow. So that, at this point, I think that's probably the main one to watch. That might also have some winds associated with it as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get later into the week. All right, Sunday, so time to take a look at the forecasted high temperatures according to the National Weather Service. And so for Monday, our highs across northeastern parts of North Dakota were only in the teens. In fact, low teens. So pretty cold to start off our week. And then as we get down to Minnesota, southeastern parts of Minnesota anyway, we're looking at 40-ish, as well as parts of southwest South Dakota as well. Tuesday, a little more of the same, where we're looking at the low to mid-teens across the northeastern parts of North Dakota. That freezing line continues to straggle far enough south. Really not a whole lot of warm air in there, some 40s down across far southern portions of our viewing area, maybe getting to near 50 down in the far southern portions of South Dakota. Wednesday, that cold air sags a little more into southern parts of Minnesota, where we're going to be struggling to get above freezing for those of you down there on Wednesday. But then Thursday, a little bit of a rebound for you, 40s, maybe even a 50 down in the far southeastern parts of Minnesota. Otherwise, again, just cold generally, kind of most areas below freezing. Friday, temperatures try to start to rebound across the western Dakotas. We slip back. We just pull back that freezing temperatures just a little bit across a little smaller portion of our area, across parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota, as well as up in the northeastern parts of Minnesota as well. And here's what I'm talking about, that glimmer of hope at the end of the rainbow that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Look at this. We're getting maybe 60s perhaps, or near 60, at least in Pierre here on Saturday for high temperatures, 50 down across southern portions of Minnesota. So look at this. We're starting to pull some 60s close at least. And so there is a little bit of hope, and I'll show you a little bit more here as well. We're going to go back to the long range forecast, and what we're taking a look at is dew points throughout the week. So here we are getting into Thursday and Friday. Look at those dew points, those 60s starting to creep up into Iowa. So that's a good thing as far as the potential, at least, for getting some more moisture in here and getting some higher temperatures, because as the dew points go up, the temperatures also have to go up along with it. And then as we get to later into the week, and then more so into next week, we start to see those, again, some of those 40s, maybe 50s start to creep into Iowa here and there. But again, not a great glimmer of hope, but just something to sort of cling on to, that at least we're pulling a little more moisture northward. And that eventually will mean that the temperatures have to go along with it. And if you really want to hang your hat on something here long out into the future, we're taking a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. So as we are about 1 kilometer up above the surface, we're looking at the temperatures, the variances in the temperatures from normal. And you can see the blues hang around until we get to about here, when we get a little more into April 7th and 8th, and then we get a lot of reds that start to hang around. We'll see. That's quite a ways out there. That's hanging your hat on a lot. But I guess I'm just looking for any kind of sliver of hope at this point. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, we're getting to the end of March. We're getting into April. Eventually, those temperatures have just got to warm up. I mean, but we do have some cooler days ahead. We've got some snow here and there, but at least there's no indications of a big storm rolling through our region. So I think that's going to be something to hang our hat on to for now. One thing I would like to say, just a little bit of remark on what happened a couple of days ago down in Mississippi and Alabama. There were a couple of devastating tornadoes that went through down there. Looking at and listening to some of the storm chasers, it sounds like they went through some things. Some of those went through some things that they've never been through before. And it was just very heart-wrenching to hear and listen to and watch these guys as they've gone through some of this. So I would encourage you all to just keep those down in Mississippi and Alabama in your prayers, and also just please help them either by donating to the Red Cross, United Way. If there's other ways that I find throughout the week that might be beneficial for those guys down there, I'll make sure to post them on my social media sites as well. So keep an eye out on Facebook and Twitter, will you, just to see how else we can help those guys down there, because there were some towns that just got ripped apart and got torn off the map. So it was pretty hard to watch over the weekend. So keep that in mind as well. So, all right, everybody. And with that, I will sign off. So for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner, and everybody have a good day.